Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. This is the first takeaway with Tay and Ren. And we just watched the Green Bay Packers win in New Jersey against the New York Giants, 27-20. We got the win, but maybe it could have went the other way. Right now, it's feeling pretty good. That W actually means a whole hell of a lot with what we saw today. Ren, you got still some issues. You got maybe some new ones, a lot more wide receiver drops. Even the defensive dropping the ball. You still got your kicking woes, right? And then defensive run stop was completely non-existent. Even the pass rush didn't even show up to like literally the last play of the game. But yeah, you had a lot of injury stuff in the first half, and then a big one with Josh Jacobs in the second. But still, the Packers won. How are you feeling after this one, Ren? Were you bouncing around like I was? Pretty much sort of dejected in the last third quarter into the fourth quarter, thinking, what the hell, this is going to go south. But they end up getting the 27 score and kept them at bay. So I don't know. Where are you at? How you feeling? Tell me.
27 is the magic number, Tay. I did pick 27-17.
Congrats.
I was not handling myself very well. I was very angry. I felt the 3 weeks, 3 losses in a row thing kind of stewing there throughout the course of this one, and I was not dealing with it well. I probably had my most outbursts I've had all season at the football team.
Wow.
I was angry at them. I was angry at sports and why do I care so much?
We seem to flip-flop, Ren. Like last week, I was really pissed off. You were under control, and I feel like maybe we swapped roles this week. I was like, whatever.
I just 3 weeks of losing. I think it was just bubbling up, and I just wasn't ready to take it. And you're playing a 2-8 football team. I get they get a little juice with the Kafka thing, and you're playing a third string quarterback who's just going to go out there and sling it.
Third string is generous, I guess.
Well, I mean, they do have 3 competent quarterbacks on the roster. As far as obviously the Packers, they go Jordan, Malik, and that's it. So, and I wonder for you, you can answer in a minute, like if you wanted to see some more RPO with Malik Willis, and if you were like, that looked pretty good. He gets them down there, they drive, they score a touchdown. But my biggest issue today, Tay, was complementary football. We still haven't seen it. The defense has been great throughout the course of the season. Obviously, the aberration in Dallas. And I think we saw another one today. They did not play a good brand of football. You mentioned the drops. Yeah, the drops from the wide receivers. Romeo drops. I mean, Dobbs. And I would say it's on the defense too, because, I mean, you kind of pointed to it. They had multiple opportunities to have, interceptions today, and on 2 of their drives, not interceptions, but you've got the third and 14 or 3rd and 12, and he's dead to rights. They're dead to rights on that drive, and then he ends up gaining 20 yards.
Yeah.
And I think I lost my mind seeing that today. I think that's when my mind started to explode, was in that second quarter, and that ultimately that leads to a touchdown. Later in the third quarter, you see an arm punt by Jameis Winston, and it should have been picked off right about the goal line there. That was today. I don't know if that's Nixon down there or who's down there, but that should have been an easy pick. Ultimately, they scored a touchdown on that drive as well. So the defense was not playing complementary football. We brought up Theo Johnson. He had 7 for 75 last week. He was tearing them apart, man. That tight end was just converting, and it was, you got Devin Singletary. He's literally their 3rd string running back, just crushing them. I was not a fan of that at all. I'm just you said they finally got home with that final, Micah strip sack with Rashawn getting it. Micah did have a sack earlier in the game, but it was not a good football game in Jersey. Weird stuff happened yesterday that all of a sudden, not on the injury report.
Yeah,
now he's
right.
not even available. That being Brandon McManus, and then a coach's decision not to have Malik Heath come out.
Yeah.
That's kind of a quizzical thing, Tay. Was he maybe a little miffed that suddenly last week Bo Melton is inserted and he is not? That would be my first guess on that coach's decision. But Matt LaFleur knew he's going out to Jersey to kind of play for his life a little bit. This team is honestly, Tay, I mean, we talked about this team 3 weeks ago. They're the number one team in the NFC. This team going out there is on life support. And I honestly, Jordan gamed up. He balled up, came back in. I did not like that he didn't slide on that play. I thought that was just awful. You got to get down there. He took a hard hit, thankfully to the left shoulder, not the right. But again, he's learned this lesson before. Why are we learning it again? And then, salt in the wounds. We've got other guys like Josh Jacobs not returning to the game. Zach Tom going in and out. I'm missing another guy who went out in the game as well. Good play to
Dobbs went in and out too.
Dobbs went in and out, but I'm missing somebody, Tay. You like the off the practice squad tight end getting in the mix. Obviously, Wiley. Obviously, the defender slips on that one, and it's wide open. But
that was the check by Watson. Watson checked the guy that was on the tight end within the first yard, which is legal.
Which Drew Brees pointed out, or I think it was Drew, and this is his first game ever calling game. I got to say that crew was awful. They're telling you like, oh, they got something going. This is crazy, and they'd say stuff like, have you watched this Packer team? Have you watched football this year? Because you guys are just talking out your backside. Did not care for that booth crew. It was awful. And, thankfully the Packers squeak out a win in Jersey. I don't feel any better about this football team, Tay, coming back home to play the Vikings at home next Sunday afternoon.
Right. You shouldn't run. You shouldn't run because you look at this team that the Giants got the ball to start, and they just went down the field and scored. And where's the defense? Where's the good thing that came out of last week, right? Gone. And then completely for the rest of the game, you have no run defense whatsoever, very little pass rush. I mean, Jameson Winston is a competent quarterback. He played well until that last throw to Williams, in the end zone for the interception. But that dude played well. And
I beg to differ, though, Tay. Again, he could have thrown 2 or 3 more picks, and a couple got balls popping up, and you're like, Bullard, get that one, or Valentine, get that one, or Nixon, get that one. Like, where is that? You guys got to have some of those.
Well, I think that's
not.
Yeah, that's like, is that Winston's fault, or is that like a good play by the defense? And it was great plays by our defense until you had one too many guys. You had 2 guys on the ball playing for the ball twice in this game, and if it was just one defender there, would have been an interception. But these guys cannot get out of their own way. That's what exuded this whole football game was the Packers still can't get out of their own way. You got a couple penalties here and there. You can't stop the run. You're dropping balls all of a sudden on critical downs where you should be driving just like they were driving down. You should be driving down. This Packers football team, especially the offense, there's an expectation, and they're not hitting that expectation. They haven't for weeks, and that's what's most frustrating for me is get going. And then when you get Malik in, I'm like, all right, I kind of like this. I honestly, I've been not all in on Jordan Love ever since
that drive. He scored, Tay. They threw the ball twice.
I know, right? But how many times
was it? 2 of 12 plays or 2 of 10 plays? That's it.
One of those was a big run by Willis, who
it was run pass option. Yep, he brings that element to the game. However, Jordan had an RPO earlier in the game, so not that they weren't switching it up there as well.
Well, and you get one major drive with Willis. What if you got 6, 7 drives with Willis? I think you're seeing more of the pass game. So just to have that limited, exposure to him, yeah, you can say run was heavy there because they probably are like, oh crap, we got to do something here. Let's do what we know we can do well with Willis, and that's run the ball, and then also Willis run the ball. But I don't know, when Jordan came out and Willis came in, I wasn't worried, honestly. I was just like, okay, let's do this. There's something else to work on and fight for, and they could do it. So
I'm going to be here and just 100% disagree with you. I mean, I think Jordan played a great game
he did.
Essentially when he came back into the game, almost every drive, Tay, they took the ball down and scored. The Giants did their best to try to keep him off the field, and they did because, again, I would point to this game being the defense's issue, not playing complementary football. You just talked about it. I mean, Tay, they gave up almost 350 yards of offense to the New York Giants, who are 2-8. You need to have your offenses back, and they just have not, and we have not yet seen in so many weeks. We're going back to early September when it's summertime here still. And now we're going into winter, and they have not played a complete game with offense and defense working together in 8-9 weeks. It's a problem, and they need to do it.
Just focused on this game. Yes, Jordan Love played well. I'll give you that. His receivers helped him not at all. And he had to dance out of the pocket several times, and he came back in after I don't even know what the injury was to his left shoulder, but last week he didn't play well. So it kind of, skews at least me coming into this game and then seeing all these drops and just the underperforming offense. And so when Malik comes in early, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Let's just go. Everyone's got a job to do. And I'm glad Malik came in. At least it's not like a hold your breath situation with Malik Willis. I'm confident in him coming in and holding things together, until Jordan can come back. And this time he did. So I don't mind it. He did play decent. There were a lot of continuing issues on this football team. And you're right. A 2-8 football team. They just lost their head coach. And you're going into their town as what was it 5-3? Were we 5-3-1? 5-3-1. Yeah, should take care of business, no problem. But it wasn't the case. You're still having these issues creep up, and it's disheartening. It's frustrating. I was yelling at the screen too, but that win, man, that win does a whole hell of a lot for, I guess, my Green Bay Packers psyche with this. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I know I agree with your sentiment. I'm not sure about going into next week here against the Vikings, feeling good about this team. You're not, but at least you're not losing a game 3 games in a row here. You pulled out a win, and hopefully you can get something together. But I don't know what happened to Jacobs. Do you know what?
I have not heard anything. I mean, It looked like a knee or an ankle. We saw him kind of hobble off into the tunnel there. It obviously didn't look season-ending, but you never know with these things. And he's been playing banged up the last many weeks, so maybe he just re-aggravated, one of his current injuries, and hopefully he'll be back and ready. We talked about it before this game was played. This is a run defense that is the worst in the NFL, and I still don't think they did enough as they needed to do. You would have hoped, when they did get that interception, that they would have been able to get the first down and just salt it away there, which they could not do.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had spent all their timeouts, but we'll see moving forward. They might need some Marshawn Lloyd. I don't know where he is. He's in the witness protection program, Tay, but they might need him.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, they got to win. They got to win today, but let's get out of here. We'll be back on Wednesday for our normal weekly podcast. So join us there. We're on live, and you can catch that on YouTube, X, or Twitch. And join in, ask those questions, join the chat. and check us out. So until then, Ren, thanks for joining me, and go Pack, go.
Yeah, Tay, until episode 335, when we preview the home game against the Minnesota Vikings on the Pup List.